Hi, and welcome to the third version of the G Suite for Education series that I'm doing for the Youth Advisory Board. Today we will be talking about Google Drive and how it can help benefit us as a board and how much quicker things can go. So if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to reply back to my email, or you can give me a call. My phone number should be in my email signature as well. All right, so once again, whenever you need to access any type of Google app, you'll always go to the top right hand corner and you'll see Google Apps. And in this case, we're going to select Drive. All right. Now, going under the Drive, you'll see that it's a pretty big menu. There's a lot of different options that you can see. You always have access to your apps and can always get back to email from this corner. And you can always switch back and forth between emails. On the left-hand side, you can navigate the menus. You can determine if you're looking at our drive, if you're looking at what computers are connected. Side note, you don't need to be worried about this. Please ignore this entire tab. You can find out what events have been shared with us, what folders, what we've recently looked at, what is starred and important, and of course, what has been trashed. So we'll start with my drive. Now, in order to understand what Google Drive is, think about whenever you log into your computer and you're trying to pull up a document, like a Word document. If you were to click under Documents or under My Computer, that's kind of what Google Drive is. This is everything that is not email. This is your Google Documents, this is flyers, this is videos, photos, different folders. Pretty much any type of media or content that we create will be on Google Drive. And I will show you how you can actually make that using Google's tools. But first, let's start with compatibility. So I'm willing to bet that about 90% of you have some type of Microsoft laptop or maybe a MacBook. And you probably don't want to go through the issue of trying to sort out and how to upload them and trying to convert the process. I mean, it's kind of a mess. The cool thing about Google, though, is that you can upload a file just like this, and it will automatically convert to what Google's platform has. So I went ahead and pulled out one of the documents that I knew would do this conversion. So if you check this out, we're going to upload an old college document of mine from my fraternity days. And as that starts to upload, you're going to notice when it finishes in the bottom left-hand corner, there's going to be a little W that shows up on here. If my computer decides to be a little fast. That W means that it was a Word document, and that means that Google recognized it and was able to correctly format it. So let's go ahead and double click on this. And just like that, a regular Word document, just like the ones that you all have created, is now in Google Form, and you can edit it just like you could in Microsoft Word. You can, open, you can move it, different files, you can paste things, you can insert things like images, tables, drawings. And in most cases, since I've already done this, it wasn't going to show you the option, but there will be a little message that shows up in the top left-hand corner and says, hey, we've noticed that this is a Microsoft Word document. Would you like us to convert it so you can make edits or changes to it in Google Docs, or do you want to keep it the same? And you can make that decision that way. But in the meanwhile, I will go ahead and delete this because we don't need it in our system. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you the process. All right. Now back to this. Like I said, you have compatibility, so anything like a PowerPoint or an Excel sheet can be uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick introduction to what we have. So Google Docs is Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is Microsoft Excel. Google Slides is PowerPoint, and any of the things that you have they should translate and roughly match up to what the software is here. You guys can also make your own presentations or choose one from a template. Pretty much make your own versions of them as well. So I'll make separate videos on how to use each of these individually, but just to have a quick look, I mean, you can still do formulas, you can still do pretty much anything that you could do in Microsoft Excel right here, but you don't have to pay for a whole new system to get that going. But also in here we've got different things, like you'll notice that I made the advisory board calendar form. You can make a form. This is their version of Microsoft Paint. We have maps, We can even make our own website here, which is something my youth group has considered doing. And actually, all of these things right here have completely transformed my ministry itself. And actually, I'd be willing to show you guys some of the things that we've been able to do to give you a quick example. So this is mine. I mean, I've got stuff for the St. Nicholas breakfast. I have the business office. I have a classroom that I teach for enrichment. But let me show you one thing that I was incredibly impressed by with the students here, and it's going to take me a little bit to find it. Here we go. So prepare your eyes because they did this themselves. But the students got together on Microsoft Sheets, not Microsoft Sheets, but Google Sheets, and did this. We operated our own coffee shop, and the kids put their names down here. They put down who was going to do what. And as you can see right here, like it'll show you everyone that did the work. It shows me when, what time they did, and I could even click on something and it'll tell me the history of what they've done. This was incredibly impressive. I mean, the kids really knocked this out of the park, and we raised about $300 at this, but I knew when kids were going to show up, I knew what they were going to do, and because of that, we had a really easy morning out of something that could have been a total mess. So we've got 7th graders. This is 7th graders that did this. We could nail this. We can completely knock this out of the park. So that's just an example of some of the functionality, but we'll go further into that. But I would also like to talk about what you can do with a lot of these things. So we can also create little folders. I created some folders just to give you an example of how to move stuff around. So let's say we want to take board members, click here. And I can move that to a different folder. So I could actually move that to the Susan folder if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that though, because that'll take a while to get everything fixed. But you can make copies of them, you can rename it, you can star it, and more importantly, you can share this with other people. So I just turned on link sharing on this option, and now I'm specifically going to share it with myself. So check this out. Now that I've added myself here, I will go ahead and send that. And now I'm going to go to my St. Paul email, just like any of you would. Go to your own personal email accounts. And like I said before, it does not have to be a Google account. It can be anything. Now I'm going to go here, and now I can open this in Sheets, and you will notice right here that I am now in the sheet, which nobody has been here because I don't see any favorite Bible passages. So make sure you guys check that out. But I'll click on it here just to show you what this is. So now that I'm in here on the Youth Advisory Board account, I can also be here on my St. Paul account, and when I log in here, it will show me that Gavin from St. Paul is logged in here right now. The little red circle means that I'm in here right now and that I'm live. And if I click on this little square right down here, it will show me this is what Gavin is doing right now, right? So that's the kind of functionality that we have. And like I said, you do not have to have a Google account. No Google accounts needed. Yahoo, Outlook, anything like that. You can edit these documents, which will make this so easy for us to work on documents in live time. All right. So I have a bit of a security concern that we need to talk about here. Now, if you'll follow me here to Shared with Me, you'll notice right now that this is empty. This was full of about 10 or 12 different documents from different parishes. I think somehow emails were getting confused back and forth, and it ended up being a lot of information that is not relevant to us, but could end up being a security concern in the future. Let me show you what I mean by using my own personal account experience. So I'm going to start by going to my St. Paul account. And specifically, I'm going to go to Gmail. Okay, so earlier today, I sent an email to Susan saying, hey Susan, I made information today about email protocol. However, I feel like it's important for you to know what it's like and make sure I was using accurate information. So right here, I created a Google Drive video, right? Now, you're going to notice something weird about this. If you look at the top right-hand corner, you'll notice that wasn't my St. Paul account. That is my personal account. So when I was clicking back and forth between the 3 email accounts that I have, which are St. Paul, personal, and the CVG Dio Youth, I actually copied and pasted the share link with my personal account. So what that means is if we go into my personal account now, even though I thought I was using my St. Paul account, we'll go ahead and check out the drive and check out what's in my drive box automatically. Well, our internet here is a little bit slow. I'm in the undercroft of the church, so give me just a second here. But just so we're clear when this is over here, I was assuming that I was sending information to Susan using my St. Paul account, right? Because that's the one that I logged into earlier in the day. So I could only assume that that's where I was going with. All right, let me try refreshing this again. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay, well, the bottom line here is, since it's not showing up, this exact same video that I sent to Susan using my St. Paul account actually ended up in the shared with me section of my personal account without me even logging in or clicking on my personal account. And the reason that that's a security concern is that, let's say you are a working youth minister at your school. Oh, here it is. So let's say you're working as a youth minister and you're reporting an incident of bullying, right? And with that bullying incident, you write a detailed report and you decide that you're going to use Google Docs to write it out, and you send it to Father for review, and you share it with him, similar to the way that I share the video with Susan. Now, when you do that, and if you're logged into your own personal account as well as being logged into the CVG Dio Youth and you didn't pay attention, there's a chance that you opened it not with this account. You maybe opened it with your personal account or your church login account. Now, that's exactly what happened here. I happen to have been logged in to my personal account first because I used this earlier this morning before I left the house, right? And because I sent all that information going back and forth with the drive, it automatically shared it to my personal account, something that specifically belongs to the Diocesan Youth Board. So make sure that whenever you're sending personal information or something that could be considered confidential, make sure you're sticking with that one account. And this is only applicable to you Google users. So if you have a Google account, this is specifically for you, to be very careful with that. Now, since I'm logged on here pretty frequently, I'm going to keep track of the shared with me section to make sure that no confidential information does get shared. And I know that most of you are pretty responsible, but this is really easy to happen. Even if you are paying attention, it's still easy for this to happen. So that's just one thing I want you to be aware of, that if you're clicking back and forth and multitasking, you can accidentally share things that you didn't mean to, and they will show up in this folder. So keep your students safe, keep your own private information secure, and I'll be on the lookout and make sure that nothing like that is shared, and I will make sure that it's not going to hurt you guys in any way, shape, or form. So hope I didn't scare you there. I just want to make sure that we know the actions that we're doing here, and I'm going to do my best to help keep this clean alongside Maggie and Susan. So that concludes the intro. I know it was a long one, but there's a lot to go over in this, so feel free to go back over any information. And once again, please talk to me if you have any questions. I am more than happy to answer. Anyways, I need to get out of my office here, and I will be talking with you guys soon. Thanks.